every sort of shiny thing. They will be surprised when they hear him sing. Take me to the edge.
That opportunity. And today we choose to look at ways to empower it within. And to start that process, very often at the beginning of a day, we meditate. So many ways to meditate. Some are active. There are people who run and see running as a form of meditation. There are people who quietly simply allow their breath to lead them to a sense of increasing calm and receptivity. Whatever is true for you, I simply invite you to close your eyes if that's comfortable for you. And we'll spend the next few moments of what we call time to let the rest of the world outside of these sacred walls bump along very nicely without us. So much of our teaching has a triune nature about it. We tend to see things often in threes. Ernest Holmes was a wonderful example. So, we live in two worlds sometimes. The world of doing, I call it a human doing. You know what that is. It's what got you here. Where Spirit was waiting. And then there is the world of being. It was implanted within us even before we made our appearance into this world. It is that part of us that is of God or spiritual, by whatever name you choose to call God or Spirit. And in the world of doing, there's a threefold question. What is mine to do? What is Spirit or God to do? And what is mine to ask for guidance or help or assistance or inspiration for? What's mine to do? What's God's to do? What's mine to ask for help with? So as you begin to sense the Spirit, the godliness within these four walls and within your own self, what question would you care to bring into that triune nature? What's mine? What's God's? And what's mine to seek assistance with? And we'll take a few minutes for you to ponder. I'll watch the time. And begin to bring your contemplation to a close. What's mine to do, what's Spirit's to do, what's mine to ask for help with. And notice that among those three ways of being, there's a place we'll call a boundary where one seems to end and another begins. And as we become more practiced at this teaching, those boundaries will shift. And as you bring the contemplation to a close, consider how in this time, at this age, at this stage of personal growth and development, how those boundaries have indeed shifted to yet a higher sense of mindfulness and realization that this is a friendly universe. And as we draw this time to a close, I invite you to slowly open your eyes. Look around the room. Feel the sense of fellowship, community, and most of all, the shared love that is spoken here. Kind of rub your feet along the floor. And prepare to go even deeper as the morning unfolds. Namaste.
boy. Oh, hi, everybody. Man, it's good to be back here. I don't know if you, well, if you didn't know, I wasn't here. So it's good to be back here. But if you didn't know that, I'll just say, hey, it's good to be here. Okay. This is Center for Spiritual Living Prescott. I've been on a lot of airplanes lately, so I think of the flight attendant saying what plane you're on, and if you don't plan on going to Boston, you probably should get off this plane. So well, never mind, I'm not going to say that. But it's great to be here. We have Reverend Tracy will be giving the talk today. The title, the working title, I don't know if it's still the title, but I was told it's a line from a Robert Frost poem called, well, the line is, "Good fences make good neighbors." Some of you are getting PTSD from your high school English class right now, I can see that. But if you haven't heard Tracy speak before, I promise you, you're in for a treat. She's so good at what she does. And our soloist today, unbeknownst to me, we talked a while ago, and then apparently, this is going to be hard for some of you all to believe, I forgot. Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? But she is incredible as well. Kaylina Martin is here, and she's going to perform two songs. Oh, look at that. She's going to perform a couple songs. She's amazing. And her whole band, Kaylina and the Kismet, will be performing next Sunday afternoon at the Birdcage. So if you like what you hear today, put that on your calendar for something to do after service. Next Sunday, she'll be at the Birdcage at 3 p.m. with her full band. So, but you'll get to hear her in a little bit. We're going to start off today, man, this is a powerful song. This is an Eddie Watkins song. And it's claiming your role in the universe and reminding all of us that we are the place where God shows up. What an incredible thing that is. Should we make them... This is Bob. You all know Bob? bear the burdens that sometimes come living this thing called life. Well, am I wise enough to make the right decisions when I stand at the fork in the road? Sometimes I wonder and ponder, only to realize I'm not alone and there's nothing I gotta do on my own, because I am the place where God is, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. Well, I am the place where God is, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. Well, will I have enough to do the things I need to do to take care of myself? And will I have the health of mind and body to give a life of grace and wholeness? Sometimes I wonder and ponder, only to realize I'm not alone and there's nothing I gotta do on my own, because I am the place where God is, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God is, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. We're gonna sing that again. Well, I am the place where God is, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. Well, I am the place where God is, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God is, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. Hold on a second, hold on a second. Let those words sink in for a second, 'cause that is... You are the place where God shows up. Think of a place where you're going to show up as God today. Let's sing it one more time. Sing it. I am the place where God is, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God is, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. Last time. I am the place where God is, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up.
Wow. He was waiting for me. That was beautiful. I mean, we are the place where God is and shows up. And one of my favorite things to say is that, you know, I move and have my being. And there's nothing to be afraid of when I know that truth, that ever resounding truth within myself. I'm Reverend Tracy, your senior minister, and welcome to Sunday, Sacred Sunday at Prescott CSL. If you're online eating your ice cream, cereal, whatever, laying in bed, welcome. Please
Ice
come
cream
see us
cereal?
next
They
time.
make that?
I know, right? Cereal.
Yep.
I like ice cream for breakfast. I don't know about anybody else. I could do a good Haagen-Dazs. I know Tom likes ice cream because Sandy told me. But anyways, so this is, where you come to learn that God is you, and you magnify that through your personality. And we have the tools to help us transform our strategies of life when they aren't working for us, or if they are working for us and you have a wonderful life, we get to help you make it even better. Because we were blessed with such a wonderful founder, Ernest Holmes, who really did the work for humanity, because he was so passionate about you living your best life. And we liked it so much, we decided to make a church out of it. So our center church. But we are here for you, practitioners, our prayer experts. They hold you in truth when you might be going through something difficult, or even you want something to manifest in your life. And maybe your mind is busy telling you it's not possible. Well, you meet with a practitioner and they'll hold that idea for you while your mind goes busy. And that's the great thing that they do here, is they know the truth beyond a shadow of a doubt. And they work very hard within themselves to be able to provide that service to you. You can find more about practitioners after the service. They do a 3-minute miracle. So you can come up here and have a prayer. They have a bulletin board with their information. And anybody with a purple stole, just sit and talk to them or chat them up, and they'll tell you all about it. Maybe you might even be inspired like I was to become a practitioner after meeting my first one. All right, so we're gonna just start with this beautiful affirmation that I tell myself every day, and I wanted to share it with you. I sing it to my kids at night, and lucky for you, I'm not going to sing it to you. But I do sing it to Miss Esty every night, because I always want her to know that she is a divine being. My nature is clarity, calmness, harmony, and love. I accept everyone for who they are. My body is healthy and whole. So let's say this really loud, because I did not hear you. I am a divine being. My nature is clarity, calmness, harmony, and love. I accept everyone for who they are. My body is healthy and whole. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Mel Hirsch. I am one of the 8 licensed practitioners at the Center for Spiritual Living, Prescott, Arizona, and this mic's a little hot. That's because I guess I'm sometimes a little on the low side. And speaking of ice cream and milk, and I will tell you, true story. I don't open with a joke if I don't have something good to say. Was in the Safeway about 3 months ago, and where the Dryers ice cream brand is, there is a flavor called cereal milk, in case y'all want to know. Okay. Time to recognize one more time the presence of divinity in this very room. It was waiting for us when we came through the doors, and we could just feel the sense of spirit waiting for us to bring our sense of spirit into its presence and have them meld, each feeling the sense of God. God is in this place. It was waiting for it. It's such a small word, but there is no place where it isn't. And isn't that a reassuring fact? We are here for the next hour to not only experience the love that's spoken here, but experience some new possible paths to make our walk with faith a little more comfortable. What a great idea. And knowing that that is in play, I relax, release it, and just allow Spirit to do what Spirit does so very, very well. And so it is.
So I've never done this before, so I figure I'm allowed to do this once every 12 years, which is totally wing a song with y'all today. So I'm going to teach you a couple lines real quick, and then if you want to learn it and join in more, do so. But the guy who wrote this, I watched him perform this last night, and I was completely blown away. So I woke up this morning and learned it. So here's the part that we're all going to sing together, and then we'll do it. And it's about, long story short, it's about going into those spaces where your light truly leads you, and probably by no coincidence, where your light is truly needed. And sometimes going into those places can be a little scary. So the first line we're going to sing together goes like this. Take me to the alley. Now you try it. Goes like this. Take me to the alley. That's right. Take me to the afflicted ones. 1, 2, 3. Take me to the afflicted ones. That's right. Take me to the lonely ones that somehow lost their way. Now we'll do it again, together. Take me to the lonely ones that somehow lost their way. Let's do the whole thing. Take me to the alley. Take me to the afflicted ones. Take me to the lonely ones that somehow lost their way. That's right. Well, they gild their houses in preparation for the king. And they line the sidewalks with every sort of shiny thing. They will be surprised when they hear him say, you know, take me to the alley. Take me to the afflicted ones. Take me to the lonely ones that somehow lost their way. Let them hear me say, I am your friend. Come here to my table and rest here in the garden. You will have a pardon. So take me to the alley. Take me to the afflicted ones. Take me to the lonely ones that somehow lost their way. Let them hear me say, I am your friend. Come here rest here in my garden. You will have a pardon. Well, they gild their houses in preparation for the king, and they line the sidewalks with every sort of shiny thing, but they will be surprised when they hear him say, take me to the alley, take me to the afflicted ones, take me to the lonely ones that somehow lost their way. Well, take me to the alley, take me to the lonely ones, take me to the lonely ones that somehow lost their way. We'll just say that first line. Take me to the alley, take me to the alley where I can shine a light. Take me to the alley where I can be the place where God shows up. Take me to the alley, take me to the alley, take me to the alley, take me to the alley.
Take me to the alley. There are folks that come into this teaching having spent time in the alley, and that's what drove them here. And is there anyone in this room who hasn't had moments where it seemed like, oh, I'm in the alley? And here we begin to see and understand that perhaps, no, not perhaps, there are people in this room that have come to fully realize that we are living in a friendly universe. And the light that shines in them allows them to illuminate a path and take that illumination that was given to us to the alley that we might give back. And that's community and family. It's a good thing. Contemplate and realize that there are boundaries between the light side and the alley. And those boundaries shift and change as we grow. Contemplate that for just a moment. Thank you. There are so many paths to opening our spiritual God side, even though we came already equipped with it. And those paths may look similar or different, but there is a golden thread that runs through them all, and we acknowledge them all. So I would invite the candle lighters to come forth as I begin a ritual for which we are known. The Center for Spiritual Living Prescott, guided by the science of mind, acknowledges the diverse faiths and spiritual traditions that enrich our world. Each belief system offers a distinct understanding of the mysteries of existence and a unique connection with the divine. Lighting these candles symbolizes our collective reverence for the diverse paths humans take in search of meaning and purpose. In this shared moment, we affirm and celebrate the multiplicity of the human experience. We light a candle for Christianity, based on the teachings of Jesus the Christ, who taught the path of love, forgiveness, and healing by the presence within. For Islam, its teaching and belief in the one and only God, creator of the heaven and the earth. For Judaism, a community of shared laws, traditions, and family ties, which began with a covenant between Abraham and God. For Buddhism, the middle path of non-attachment that ends suffering. For Hinduism, the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. For the traditions of indigenous people everywhere and their close and sacred connection to the earth, sky, and waters. For Baha'i, the path of unity and peace. For all the goddess traditions, celebrating the power and wisdom of the feminine energies, including nature and nurture. And for the science of mind, a philosophy of life that teaches there is a power for good in this universe and we can use it. And now, would you care to anchor that by saying, we are here for God. Our purpose is to express the nature of God as love, abundance, and joy in everything we do. The good we seek for ourselves is what we desire for all people everywhere. And so it is.
Good morning, everybody. This is my first time participating in your congregation, and thank you so much for the warm welcome. I was invited to play you some music. My name's Kayleen, and this is an original tune. It was inspired by a story that really resonated with me. So let me just give you a quick backstory here. There was a farmer who had a dried up well on his property, and one day his donkey accidentally fell into this dry well. And he could hear the donkey at the bottom yipping and yawing in total panic, and it didn't matter what the farmer could do, he could not get the donkey from such a depth. And though it broke his heart, he gathered his other farmers together, and he always needed to fill that hole anyway, so they started to bury the donkey, shoveling that dirt one scoop at a time. After hours of shoveling, they finally hear nothing. They think by this time they must have buried the donkey. And they look down, and to their surprise, the donkey had been shaking all the dirt off of its back and packing it and dancing his way all the way back to the top. And I thought, God, I feel like the donkey a lot. I fell into my own hole, and then I started panicking. And then the things I thought were going to bury me alive ended up being the very foundation that got me to a higher level, till you come up and over the edge. And when you get to the top, you've done all that work, give yourself a break. Take a deep breath, look at what you've survived, what you've accomplished. So my mom calls this the donkey song. It's called Jason Waterfalls.
Please don't run so fast in front of me. I've got these newborn legs attached to my newborn feet, and I'm not confident yet. Test them on the ground as my mind bounces around miles ahead of me now. I've been to the bottom of the darkest pits, wallowing in my pain and my own dang selfishness. Never seemed to be a way out of that state, looking around to see these messes I had made. And when they started to bury me in, shoveling that dirt down on me again and again, they were shoveling that dirt down. I was panicked and blind, shoveling that dirt down. I thought my time had come. So I started to dance it down till I packed new earth. Let me dance this down till I think I'll burst. Suddenly, wonderfully, surprisingly good. Up I came over the mouth of the dark domain. So now I see water and birds and creatures of every shape, all moving forward to some mysterious place. I wish to have the confidence the way they do to convince myself, girl, get up and move. I've been to the bottom of the darkest pits, wallowing in my pain and my own dang selfishness. Never seemed to be a way out of that state, looking around to see these messes I had made. And when they started to bury me in, they were shoveling that dirt down on me again and again. They were shoveling that dirt down. I was panicked and blind. They were shoveling that dirt down, and I thought, my time has come. So I started to dance, dance it down till I packed new earth. Oh, I started to dance, dance it down till I thought I might burst. Suddenly, wonderfully, surprisingly good, up I came over the mouth of the dark domain. Well, let me live in this light, let me feel the breeze. Dear God knows that shoveling dirt has set me free. Oh, who would believe?
I have so much to say. That was phenomenal. Jackson, I mean, I think church is done, right? Like, they fed us. Well, that was. I forgot I booked her. Book her some more.
She's like, don't you remember?
Please come back. That was lovely. And I bet you could sing the heck out of a Tracy Chapman song. I'm just saying. Like, I'm not a music, but that was a vibe. Thank you so much for setting the tone. Well, hello again. And we are talking today about good fences make good neighbors. And it's a talk on boundaries and strategy and connection. And but first I wanted to know, have you heard about the situation where there was heavenly confusion? No. Okay, well, I'm going to tell you. The preacher said to his congregation, I want everyone to know, everyone that is going to heaven, to stand up. So everyone stood up except for one individual. The preacher repeated, I can't talk today. I'm still stunned. The preacher repeated, I want everyone to stand up who's going to heaven. And the old man he remained seated. Finally, the preacher asked, Brother Williams, why aren't you standing? And the old man replied, oh, I'm sorry, I thought you were getting a group to go now. No one wants to go now? You know what I was thinking? I was thinking I was going to take this row out and this row out, and then you'd actually be in the front row. All right, well, welcome to Sunday at Prescott. And today, like I said, we are talking about good fences make good neighbors. And I was having a fabulous conversation with Clay, and I said, hey, you know, as he always does, what are you talking about? And I said, I don't know. And we got to talking, and I said, I've really, in my life, been studying boundaries. And it reminded him of a poem, The Mending Wall, by Robert Frost. And there's a line in there that says, good fences make good neighbors. And I thought, that's a good talk. That is a good talk. So when I'm talking today about boundaries, it's a topic on balance. It's a topic on we all have great strengths. And I heard Ashanama Swami say recently that your greatest strength can be your biggest weakness. If you like to talk and you talk too much, then you're, who do you think I'm talking about? I don't know. But, you know, it becomes out of balance. So if you think about your greatest strength and how it can become your greatest weakness, in there in the middle is balance. Also, we could probably call that boundaries. So for me, boundaries is balance, a sense of understanding, your strategic way that you move through your life, how we get people to listen to us, or if you are a retired people pleaser, how you want to please or take responsibility for making, for other people's happiness, which we are not. We are not responsible for that. And so as I thought about my own my own life and who I have made responsible for my happiness, probably my husband mostly, but you know, we all have families. And as I studied with my teacher and shared some of my life with him, he said, oh, your family didn't really have boundaries. And I said, oh, never really thought about it that way. And so I often, as I do, figured if this is something that really wasn't taught in my family, it might not have been taught in others. And the importance of boundaries in a spiritual community, but not only in a community, but work, families, personal physical space, and that boundaries are personal limits and guidelines that individuals set to safeguard their physical, emotional, and personal well-being. These boundaries help us to maintain a spiritual diversity because we all are unique individuals traversing path. And of course, we like for people to be just like us and to take our ideas and want to move with them. And we sometimes can be very forceful from our point of view. And I think boundaries bring us into a place of curiosity, a place of wanting to know more. And in The Mending Wall, the poem is really about this wall that was on a property made of stone, and there was an apple tree, and the person on the left side of the fence really thought the wall was getting in the way of his apple tree, and the other person on the other side of the fence thought it was getting in the way of connection. And so I really took this as the balance between boundaries and connection. If you have too many boundaries and you're too forceful with them, you lose connection. And if you have too much of an earnest desire, and I mean this in a big way, right? To connect, you can go into people pleasing and take responsibility for people's happiness, and then you lose yourself. So I thought how beautiful it was. Good fences make good neighbors, meaning good boundaries, good confidence, good self-awareness make good fences, which creates connection. So the aim of the talk today is to really talk about how these boundaries help us respect and connect. And last week I talked a little bit about with children and learning how to be a mom all over again in a new way. It is connect and correct. And this one is really boundaries and connect, and looking at the balance of being open and approaching from curiosity and assuming positive intent. And quite often we don't, and I'm guilty of it. You know, I hear something, I get a hold of it, I get mad, and then I'm like, wait, is that even true? You know? And my husband might say something to me like, how do you know? And I go, 'cause I know. I can feel it. And he's like, really? And he'll start asking me a series of questions. And then I realize, dang it, I got to apologize because he's right. But boundaries is also about owning your own point of view, your personal strategic strategy for getting through life. And sometimes those, that way that we do, if we're not self-aware or familiar of our personal strategies, they can get in the way. And so Ernest Holmes says this, never let anything cause you to doubt your ability to demonstrate the truth. Conceive of your word as being the thing. See the desire of your heart as accomplished fact, and rest in perfect confidence and peace and certainty. This quote really does speak to the importance of maintaining a clear and strong sense of self and purpose, right? When we know ourselves, we know our place, we can read a room, we have patience in wanting to say something and know when it needs to be said. We understand how our words are deeply impactful to others. It aligns the idea of boundary setting to protect one's inner peace and one's spiritual path without making other people responsible for it. That's what I really like about in my research on boundaries. So I was meeting with my teacher, and he was been helping me to have a new way to think and see the world, a new process in which to filter information through, because I didn't have that when I was growing up, and our education system wasn't really geared towards it. And so he has really challenged me to pick 5 topics and then to go research them and report back to him with a report. And so every time I go back to him with the report, he's like, okay, now give that to me more succinctly. And as I do it, I start to recognize I know it more, and I can speak from that point of view personally and say, somebody said to me when I first got here, as I was talking, they said, when you're talking about something that someone else said, it's a good idea to go, and what I think about that is. And I thought, oh, that's an interesting comment right? And it stuck. And so I don't know who you are. You might know who you are. But it's really true, right? As you start to gather information and you start to want to move through your life with boundaries or a more defined presence and respect for yourself, which garners respect from other people. You start to speak from, and how I feel about that is. Right? Or if you're trying to give a boundary or set up a boundary, you might say, when you do that, it makes me feel. And then you're taking responsibility for it. And that is the really, really challenging part about boundaries is, if there were none in a relationship, no matter what type it is, it can be very challenging because some people can take it very personally. You might be afraid when you start to assess those boundaries. But what it actually does is creates a world that we say works for everyone. Because through boundaries, connection happens. Through boundaries, people get to know you and your authentic self. I can think of many situations in my life that if boundaries were there, I would have really helped people to understand how I like to be treated. And what I was doing by not confronting them, because I don't like confrontation, was allowing them to continue and never learn that about me. And then it gave me something to continue to complain about, and it gave them the opportunity to keep showing up the same way. And then this friction happened, and then we never really got to meet each other without the mask, to be authentically aligned, to see really what we had to offer each other for our lives to grow. The benefits of boundaries and values is promoting respect and understanding. Setting clear boundaries helps us establish mutual respect in relationships. Improving communication, the process of setting boundaries requires an open and honest communication. It fosters healthier dynamics. How about that? It fosters healthier dynamics. Healthy boundaries prevent toxic relationships and patterns from overextending themselves into a relationship. And it prevents us from feeling taken advantage of or losing oneself in a relationship. It also helps us to show up clearer and more confident. It helps us to be present in a conversation without worry. And as I thought about Jackson's song and what ministry really means and showing up for those people in my life, because of our beautiful children, we have a lot of people that come through our life that have a lot of issues, and I like to save people. And so it was really hard to set those boundaries of, hey, you are supposed to be here on this day at this time, and I open door policy, show up whenever you want because I love you and I want you to get better. And then I would get mad that they did that. And then you realize, boundary setting has nothing to do with the other person. It's the I statement of, here's what I want, here's what I need, and you can do it or not. And if you choose not to, well then, we'll have to have a different type of conversation. But it also works for the other person that might have, because if you're that type of person, who's going to show up in your experience to energetically meet that is people that don't set boundaries. And my teacher said to me, well, it's okay, because karma is such that if you don't learn to stand up for yourself, you're going to keep meeting people that help you learn to stand up for yourself. And so if you don't get it the first time, don't worry, it's going to come back around for you to get it again. So it really does help for you to be authentic, because if you think about children, structure, boundaries, commitment, consistency, right? And if they're not raised with that, they're lost in the world. I met a young man yesterday. They live across the street, and their grandma died, and it's been a difficult life for him. And his mom sent him this message that he shared with me, and I thought, oh my gosh. And then as he started talking, I could see that there was lack of structure and consistency in his life. At 16, he was really quite lost. And I thought to myself, what would his life have been like had a boundaries or consistency, or if we had really somebody showed up in his life too and teach him the importance of those things. You'd have a better self-worth. You would know that you have value. And that's what I said to him. I go, I don't know what that message really means, but you have value, and there's a part of you that is most beautiful, and I invite you to find that part of yourself. And so it also, in spiritual context, we have different modalities, right? It's cultural and social conditioning. We have the fear of stepping on someone's toes that have different types of religious beliefs that we have. Maybe the path that you traversed here, we all come from different spaces, and some of us have acquired a distaste for certain things. But as we come into an environment like this, the boundary is that we are looking at those to meet them and heal and be able to move forward so that we can see what we went through isn't who we are. The risk of not setting boundaries, you could get burned out. Exhaustion trying to meet everybody's needs. It's very challenging. Loss of self-respect and personal identity. You start to wear masks and want to be who you are to everybody you meet in order to keep them happy with you, when ultimately I have found it doesn't work. They'll find something to be unhappy about, and you will own it. And then your life will not move forward in the way that you want. The increased likelihood of relationships, issues, and conflicts. I mean, families, right? This is our primary karma. And through that, boundaries, I think about my life and my family. And I was telling Tom my stories, and he said, woo. And I was like, oh, yeah. And there's a little guilt and shame arose. But then I realized we all do better when we know better. That the purpose of talking about boundaries today and the purpose of learning boundaries and connection is so that we can meet and magnify the teachings that we have to offer here, and that we're not infighting about our old identities and our old beliefs, but they were magnifying the science of mind principles because we are connecting, and people want to know why we're so darn joyful, right? They want to know. And I know that I've been guilty of not always doing that, but my commitment is connection. My commitment is love. And my commitment is to look at myself and to see within me what needs to be healed. Now and to also be honest about it and not be afraid of disappointment. And I invite you into that in our community so we can learn to express in a whole new way and build good fences and become great neighbors. The risk, again, of not setting boundaries, it diminishes our collective good. It waters down our message. We are here because love brought you here. Your neighbor might have pulled you and said, hey, show up because we got something good, but Spirit called to you to be here because it wishes to express in your life in a bigger way. So the question for reflection today for you is, how do your current boundaries help you to define and protect your personal space? Can you identify where those might where they need to be clearer? And how are they keeping you from connecting to a person that you don't know or you find aversion to? I invite you today to have a conversation with someone you don't know and practice listening, and then let the other person talk, and then you speak, and then create a question of curiosity so that we can get to know each other on a broader and higher level, so that we can flourish. And when we go to Starbucks, the energy is magnifying out of us, and they'll be like, why are you so happy? I want some of that. And you should say, well, you should just go down to that place right there, CSL, and you can get some. And together we can grow. Together we can honor one another. Together we can listen and truly fall in love. I look forward to connecting with you on a whole new level, in a whole new way. From my heart to yours, I love you, and I really appreciate you showing up today. Namaskaram. And I am just going to ground that in prayer for us while Jackson tickles the ivory keys. So take a breath. Just knowing that we're not going to heaven today, that there is a sense of safety, that the great teachers of our time, going back thousands of years, knew how to cultivate connection and also stand their ground for the most beautiful things in the world, that so much so that they're recognized today as our spiritual teachings. Knowing that the first and primary boundary is I exist, I love, I am, I'm here. And as we cultivate that to deeper levels and higher awarenesses, then the idea of having to even invoke a boundary goes away, because that true, authentic, highest self, we are already connected in that realm. And as our personalities are cultivated, as we heal those wounds and traumas that keep us separated, we know that this teaching brings us to that place of looking at ourselves, of being highly in tuned and aware of our strategies of how we move through life, so that we can change them, so that we can change our thinking, and therefore our life changes, so that we can go inward on the journey and connect to that higher part of ourselves that says, you are love, you are light, you are calmness, you are purity. It says, there is only peace, and you are that peace. There is only love, and you are that love. There is only light, and you are that light. And in that space, in that beautiful, energetic feeling that makes your hair stand up on your arms, in that cultivating of dynamic conversation and curiosity, that we step into the flow, knowing that that highest part of ourselves takes over, and that anything unlike this can simply be set aside. That love is the call. And love is the answer. I send these words to the whispers of the wind to be taken out and land in your heart and open any space inside of you that needed to hear these words from Spirit today, knowing that they do their dynamic job of transformation to the highest realms on the path of knowledge, on the path of inward know thyself. As we release these words into that wind, I say thank you, Spirit, thank you, life, thank you, God, and so it is.
We're going to sing a Michael Gott song together, and this is a toe tapper, so I'm helping Bob say, let's stand up and sing this one. It's called, it's affirming positive change. It's called Right Here, Right Now. Right here, right now, I'm gonna make a brand new start. Right here, right now, I'm gonna make a change in my heart. Everything I need, I now receive, and it's done unto me as I believe. Right here, right now, where I am. Right here, right now, I'm gonna make a brand new start. Right here, right now, I'm gonna make a change in my heart. Everything I need, I now receive, and it's done unto me as I believe. Right here, right now, where I am. Right here, right now, I'm gonna make a brand new start. Right here, right now, I'm gonna make a change in my heart. Everything I need, I now receive, and it's done unto me as I believe. Right here, right now, where I am.
I mean, we're jamming today. I feel a concert coming on or something. This was really wonderful, and that made me want to do the jitterbug, but I didn't have anybody up here to do it with. It was like, oh, what is that song? Never mind. That would take too long to figure out, because if you live in my mind, you know songs dwell there with no names. And I have to have my kids dig them out. All right. Well, Jackson, while you were gone, we really tried to keep the clapping, the on beat, the energy, enthusiasm. And we miss you when you're gone, Jackson. We
But
do.
look, I'm back.
I know. I just want you to know how much we miss you when you're gone.
Likewise.
And we love you. And we hope you have fun, but not too much, because you need to come back to us, okay?
Oh,
okay. Okay.
You got it.
All right. It is that time in service where we affirm the prosperity of the universe and claim it as our own. Doesn't that sound good? It makes me all fired up that our prosperity is your prosperity. So read this with me, and let's claim this as our own today. Divine love in and through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, all that I receive. Thank you, life. Can we say that last part louder? Thank you, life. Very good. I love it.
And we have Kaylina for another.
Oh, yes.
Can't be wrong with that.
Can't be wrong.
Well, going off of the theme of boundaries, there's this great movie. I was going through quite a writer's block, and I suddenly watched August in Osage County. Has anyone seen that with Meryl Streep? Whew, that movie is heart-wrenching, and talk about boundaries and the dynamics that we have in family, because if they're not there right out the gate, then we don't learn them, and then you become an adult who's quite broken and bad communications. But I realized that's a universal message about if we cannot set ourselves boundaries to how we want others to treat us or how we want to represent ourselves, and then we lead ourselves to internal torture, and you still love somebody, but you can no longer be connected to that person, and that's such a disservice to yourself as well as to that person. So I finished watching that movie, and I was so gutted by the message that I ended up sitting down and writing this. This is called I Always Will. Penny for your thoughts as you head out on your way, in which I might never see you again. Come on and tell me what you're thinking right now. It's a rare opportunity to see me in this way, when there's worry in my heart, worry on my face. Come on and hold me. Tell me it's gonna be okay. But there's this bigger world than either of us know, where the sky goes on forever, so we've been told. Beyond these walls where we've stayed in, the world has not waited, it's continued to spin. As you step outside, you're greeted by the light. I'll send you with a prayer, even though you're out of sight, that I love you. And God knows that I always will. Seasons change and the wind it might blow. I let myself believe in a little bit of hope that you'll forgive me for all I've put you through this far. As time goes on, my memory it fades. I start to lose sight of who's to blame. Please just forgive me before you walk away. There's this bigger world than either of us know, where the sky goes on forever, so we've been told. Beyond these walls we've tried to destruct, here comes the world as we open up. And as you step outside, you're greeted by the light. I'll send you with a prayer, even though you're out of sight, that I love you. And God knows that I always will. Thank you so much, guys.
Wow, so beautiful. Thank you so much. I mean, Prescott is such a creative place. There are so many creatives, and I'm hoping it rubs off on me. All right, can I have my ushers come forward? Oh, I another roll. Clay set a boundary. Get the microphone. Hi, Pam. How are you? All right. right, so we're just going to set this in spirit, just the gratitude, the immense gratitude and love, and just so deeply, deeply moved that you would consider giving to our center to keep us in play and sharing our philosophies with the world. These gifts do so much, and I want you to know that Spirit knows, and it just is received and sent back and floweth over. But this is the principle of life. As you give, so shall you receive, and we are deeply grateful. And I say, thank you, thank you, thank you. Namaste. And now Kathleen. I want my own song.
You have more nerve than I do. Good morning. My name is Kathleen. Those of you who have been away for a while and have returned or are new, or maybe you were just passing by and decided to stop in this morning, we'd like to have you stand, tell us your name, where you're from, so we get to know you. So, those of you who are new this morning, I knew you'd be brave. Oh dear. Welcome. Welcome. Anyone else? No? All right. Well, for you, after service, while browsing through the bookstore, find this section of previously owned, gently read, and very much loved books. Find one that reaches out to you. Take it as our gift to you for being with us this morning. And then follow the rest of us to Sibley Hall for the 3 C's, crumpets and coffee and conversation. The save the date cards went out a while ago, and some of you expressed the fact that you did not receive them. Please remember, check trash, check your spam, and see if you can find them. Also, the invitation to Reverend Tracy's installation will come in that same way as an e-card. So it'll be under CSL Prescott, it could be under Christine Cameron. They're safe, you can open it. If you do not have a computer to receive the installation invitation, please let me know, and I will personally hand you a paper invitation so that you have that. Please let me know. One more volunteer is needed to help with child care during the installation, and one more volunteer is needed in hospitality with food on installation day. So if you can help here, please see Laura in the bookstore, and she will be grateful that you're volunteering. The volunteers for the organization of Reverend Tracy's installation will meet after service on Sunday, September the 8th. Please mark your calendars. We're getting very close, and we're going to finalize some of the plans. The hospitality team is inaugurating something new and fun. The last Sunday of each month is now going to be known as Salad Sunday, beginning next Sunday. Members are invited to bring salads, desserts, and breads, and please, no hot dishes. And then after fellowship, you are asked to retrieve all of the containers and your serving utensils. No leftovers are to be left here at the center, please. Coffee, cups, plates, and utensils for eating will be provided, and Jim will have any questions answered if you have a question to ask him. As always, check with your group leaders for times and locations of your gathering to find out when and where. A board meeting is next Sunday. And also stop by the table to the left of the entry for a membership update, name, address, phone number, email, that type of thing. And I believe we have a kiddo or two or more or none, I never know. But whoever is here from there, the Children's Association of Awesomeness, let's welcome them.
Hi. So, what we did today was watch Esty bounce on her little. Yeah. And we watched her touch some stuffed animals. And she walked around a table. She grabbed onto a chair, then grabbed onto a table and got up all by herself. And she walked around that little table. And then I put her in like this bouncer thing, and she was just, yeah, she was like, that started at like 11. And now it's like 11:40, so.
I love that really made your day.
Uh-huh.
He's like,
Oh, I also booped her nose quite a bit, and we tried to teach her what a nose is and where it was. Where it was.
all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's very active. Grandma's very tired. Thank you. Thank you so much. One thing I wanted to say, we are checking the membership because I want to make sure you get your tithe letters this year correctly. And also, I'll be calling the community, and I want to make sure I have good phone numbers and just trying to reach out and touch and connect with everybody and just have a nice conversation. So please make sure we got your phone number, and if you could just give permission if you do want us to reach out to you, okay? Thank you. All right, and yes. And Jackson is going to play us out. Oh, we're going to do the benediction. I lied. I fooled you, tricked you. This is stand up and grab a hand. See, I'm going to sing for you today. All right. Let's connect. Let's connect. If you're comfortable, please grab a hand. And here we go. Sing it. Sing it. Say it loud and proud. Maybe we should sing it. Here we go. Something wonderful is happening through me right now. It's happening through my mind, body, my affairs. I think it. I believe it. I feel it. I know it and accept it. Thank you, life.
Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it